Realignment, though, Sheer, we need to be very clear about something here. 2026-27 was always the target date for Brett Yormark to be able to add teams like a Clemson, like a Florida State, or a Louisville, or a Miami, or whatever the case may be. That was always the target date. There was so this idea right now that some people are pushing out there that, oh, well, the ACC is all together. That is not true at all. This was never the target date.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes. Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was reporting something that was literally a year old. Like, they said this a year ago. Dennis Dodd printed a year ago. It was like a running joke when Pete went with it. And shout out to Brett McMurphy. Great nickname for Pete Thamel, Repeat.
Repeat is very good. Yeah.
But yeah, it was never, ever, like, we're sitting here begging people to listen to us when we say it's not imminent. And then people are like, aha, it's not going to be next season. It's like, it was never. How could you do that during the lawsuits? It's not even possible.
Yeah, it wasn't ever possible. And on top of that, is any school going to say, hey, guess what? We're in the middle of a lawsuit and we're going to book it out of here on August 15th. That is not the case. Now, I will say this. The way that you see things starting to unfold, though, and again, if you read some of the legal tea leaves, I do believe that if Florida State and Clemson, or if they win this lawsuit, I do believe the ACC is done. I believe the ACC is done because I think that because there are some attractive brands in the ACC that the Big Ten would love to have. And I think if this all goes down, Sheer, you're looking at probably the death of the ACC in much the same way we were looking at the Pac-12 at this time last year.
Yeah, someone asked me this yesterday. Do I think the ACC would fall apart? And really the only way it would have been similar to how the Pac-12 stayed alive, which is you backfill, right? You keep the other team somehow. You lose half your league, but you add other teams. You add Washington State and Oregon State and a couple others, and the ACC as we know it would die. It would be done. Because NC State, Louisville, Miami, Duke, North Carolina, they're out. They're out.
Right, for sure. They're out. Yes, they would be, because again, Duke, and we'll get to that in a second. By the way, the great Dennis Walsh says they won't win this for many years. It'll be a negotiated settlement. That's all we need, Dennis Walsh. That's all we need. But look at some of the brands in here. I'm going to throw you a couple schools. Tell me where they end up, Jason Shear.
Got it.
First of all, you ready? Are you ready? All right.
Yes, sorry, I had a text. Yes.
Duke.
Big Ten.
North Carolina.
Big Ten.
Virginia is interesting.
That's the tough. That's the one I was talking yesterday with someone. I don't know. Virginia's probably more attractive than we're making it out to be.
I think Virginia is more attractive. Yes, I agree.
I don't know. I really don't.
I think Virginia ends up in the Big Ten. I think that from an academic, here's just my guess. I think the Big Ten adds 4 teams. I think they try to add Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, and one other team. That's where I think they're going to go with that.
That's fair.
Right. Okay. And then one other team, I don't know who it is. Now, there are some other ones that are from what I've ascertained, the SEC and the Big Ten have very little interest in Miami because they don't view it as a draw. They don't view it as you know what? If I'm Miami, if I'm Brett Yormark, I'm all over Miami. I think that fits in perfectly. I think that it's listen, let's be honest here. At Miami, you can still recruit at a top 10 to 15 level, right? So you're obviously going to be relevant at the and you still have a brand. If I'm Brett Yormark, I'm all about Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami's an easy sell to the Big 12. As long as the money's there, I think they're in that group of 4 that I would target. It's not attractive if you're the SEC, you don't want another Florida school. Florida's going to throw a fit. And they don't want Miami in there. Miami is not a cultural fit with the Big Ten at all. Come on down to the Big 12, and I think Yormark would recognize that right away.
Let me ask you this. Miami's obviously not what it was when we were growing up, but Miami to me is still a top 10 to 15 football program. You should be able to recruit at a top 10 to 15 level.
Yeah, you should be able to recruit well there. Absolutely.
All right, yes. I don't care what the facility. I mean, I know it matters. I get all that. But so Then you got obviously Florida State and you got Clemson. Reading a few more of the tea leaves here, a little bit further along as we go. It does not feel, and I was talking with somebody in the SEC country. He was talking about Florida State, and he said, "Listen, man," he said, "Sankey on record, Sankey off record was very clear that they're not big." They are not looking to add teams just to add a lifeline. I don't think Florida State is somebody that the SEC is very attracted by at all. And obviously, they're a non-starter for the Big Ten.
Yeah. You don't. Here's the deal: you don't take shots at schools and then add them, right? And so Sankey was very clear. He took some shots the other day at Florida State, and when you do that, you don't do that and be like, "Oh, by the way, you want to come play in the SEC?"
Right.
Just how it works. So. Yeah,
Brett Yormark not taking shots at the corner for Western schools at this time last year. Jason Scheer.
Brett Yormark's smart. Has he ever taken a shot at a school?
No, he hasn't. Well, but if you read the reports, they say that he's undermining behind the scenes. No, well,
yeah, I mean, Yormark's not taking public shots at schools because what happens if you add those schools? It is really stupid with the current state of college athletics to diss any school.
All right, now we're going to get to Arizona football here in just a second. All right, now I am going to give you 4 schools. And again, this is all fluid. Everything can change. By the way, I saw that you were on a show the other day and they called you Mr. Right. Or is he right again or something like that? What was the show, Scheer? It was on Twitter. I saw somebody putting you on about it, talking about your amazing...
Oh, is that the stadium show where they talk about?
Yeah. Oh, very much like Jason Scheer. I assume you gave me a pat on the back as well on this show.
I wasn't on it. They just talked about me.
Oh, all right. Well, either way, yeah. Well, yeah.
I would always give you a pat on the back.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's why I get that
wherever you want.
That's where I get that inner circle hat, though. Okay, now 4 more schools. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna get on to Arizona. We're gonna get on to Arizona football.
Eduardo.
Yeah, no,
that's Dallas.
That's Dallas. All right. So with Arizona football now, I apologize about that. We are going to no. All right, Louisville. What conference are they in 2 years?
Big 12. Come on now, Big 12. Okay. I think Louisville is very attractive. That market is much better than I think the average person knows. If I was the SEC, I'd be all over Louisville, but I think it'll be the Big 12.
Okay, now, Florida State, Clemson.
Oh, Big 12.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought you were. I thought it was
and then Miami.
Yeah, that's my 4. Florida State, Clemson, Miami, Louisville's my 4. It could extend to 6. NC State, Virginia Tech. I think that's a possibility also.
Okay. By the way, the Meisner, the prophet Shiramiah is always right. That's actually very good. Dude, you should go by Shiramiah. Now, Dennis Walsh says, will there be fat cutting? I don't believe so. I believe that all the schools that are in there are going to be taken care of.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
Look at this great swag we got at Media Day, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, you want to talk about swag as well? Look at this swag. I got my Big 12 pen.
I relate to your tweet the other day. I think it was a tweet. I steal every hotel pen. That hotel pen is coming home with me at every hotel I go to.
Yeah, and I love the notepads too. The notepads are underrated as well. I know. I look at those and I'm like, man, I'm taking these things, man.